The Alpinestars SMX Plus V2 vented and SMX-6 V2 vented are two of the most popular warm weather riding boots on the market today. But when I looked online, I couldn't find any information on what the real difference between these two were, so I thought I'd make a quick video. First, remember that both of these boots fall below Alpinestars' top Supertech boots, which are really meant for track days. I'd say these are both comfortable boots if you're not on the bike, but you're definitely not going to be walking around all day like you would with a normal riding boot. Shared between them is a good style, very modern, very good fit and finish, good quality materials, and they're both very comfortable when I tried them on. The differences, as far as I can tell, are really in three main areas. First is how the boot locks. On the SMX Plus V2s, it has this locked tab design here where you slide that in and can lock and release to adjust this top tightness. Within the boot, above the tongue, you have this other cable to adjust the tightness, I guess around the ankle. I didn't really feel any difference when I tried it on. That's contrasted with the SMX-6 V2s where it has this three-piece Velcro here. The Velcro is very firm, very strong, and it's almost a little difficult to get it open whether you're in or out of the boot. So I think both of them provide a very secure fit. But I'd say this is much more difficult to get in and out of, and I'm not sure how many seasons this tab will last, even though it feels firm now. They have similar zippers, but the Plus's zippers are away from the bike, and the 6s are inside of the bike, which is why I guess the Velcro covers the zipper to protect it from scratching up against the bike, and that's obviously not needed on the Plus's since they face away from the bike. The next difference I noticed was around the ventilation. So on the Plus's, there are more holes throughout the boot. They're a little bit smaller, but there are definitely more of them. Versus the 6s, they're a little bit larger, especially over here you can see, and they're not as spread, especially on the other side of the foot. Now, I haven't ridden with these boots on, especially on a warm day, so I'm not sure if that's a big deal or not. I would guess probably it's an almost negligible difference, but it is one that you have to pay attention to. The third one that I saw was around the armor that's throughout the bike. So on the Plus's, you have a little bit more armor that's on the side and the back, you can see, especially at the bottom here. Versus on the 6s, it's not as rigid, not as tough. So I think the Plus's are definitely the hybrid between the 6s and then what the Supertech has. When I tried these on, I really did not feel any difference in comfort or tension or pressure between what this boot adds here versus what the 6 has. And honestly, I'm not really sure how much of a difference it would make, but it's definitely worth calling out. With that said, both the Plus's and the 6s have the reinforced toe box, as well as this patch up here. However, on the Plus's, this component right here extends a little bit further. Other than that, I think the only difference is some minor stylistical items. So if you look, the Alpinestars logo is a little bit different. It's a little bit more prominent on the Plus's throughout. The 6s, I would say, is a little bit more of a low-key incognito boot. Less white stitching on this color pattern. Two other important notes are really, number one, how big this boot is at the top, even when it's locked into the smallest size. I have riding pants, riding jeans. I had to fit both of these inside, tuck them in. I could not fit them over because of how big the top is on both of these. I also noticed that the SMX-6s have a better sole rating, protection-wise, than the Plus's. Not really sure how that happened. The tread is pretty similar, so there must be some material difference. Ultimately, I went with the Plus's. These are both European size 46. I normally wear a sneaker size 13, so I sized down about 1. The Plus's were actually a little bit of a firmer and snugger fit versus the 6s. And I read from Alpinestars that you should get a snug fit because it'll expand as time goes on. The 6s were just a little bit too loose and my foot was really bouncing around as I was walking. I also really prefer that it's not impossible to get in and out of the bike with this system versus the 6. but we'll see how that lasts up over time. Ultimately, both really great boots. You can't go wrong, and I hope you choose well. Thanks for watching.